a lot about her. I love her spirit actually. So let's go on to have this awesome interview with this awesome Psalmist woman.
I was looking at this camera.
This is for Breed Magazine, and many of you know who I am. I am Apostle Margaret Breedy-Haynes, all right? And we have this awesome psalmist, Keann Walters. It's gonna be exciting. All right, tell us about this beautiful, I like your spirit, this beautiful woman that is singing all these beautiful songs. Tell us about you, how you began. I know for a fact you may not have started as a in the Christian arena. Is that true?
That is correct.
Okay, so tell us about you.
Okay.
These are your eyes?
Yes.
All right. Okay, we're gonna talk about those eyes afterwards.
No problem.
Okay. Tell us.
I grew up in church, and I came up in the Nazarene. My dad, he used to go to the Nazarene church, and from the time I was a baby, I used to go to the Nazarene as well. And I was one of those kids who always loved church. You never had to get me ready for church. I'll be ready from Saturday night, I'll be there early. And I always loved to fellowship, and I always loved to sing. My father, he used to sing calypso, and I think it was Conqueror's tent and that kind of stuff. And so I always used to go to the tent and watch him sing, and I always loved to sing. I grew up in the church, in Nazarene church, and I would go to church. I liked church so much. I went to 3 churches. So the Nazarene was my church, and then my aunt who lived next door to me, she used to go to Abundant Life, and then the other old lady next to me, she used to go to Saturdays. So I would go to see one.
So you went to all of them?
Yeah, so I went to all of them. I just loved church. I carried on that way, fast forwarding. When I was about 17, I had moved from the house from Nazarene, and I had moved in St. George with my dad to Newberry, Nazarene. And when I was about 17 years old, I kind of got tired of church, being truthful.
Wow.
I got tired, and I was like, I can sing really good. I don't have to only sing in church, and so then I craved to sing at different venues and different nightclubs and such like that. And I got the opportunity to do that. And I started to sing at Harbor Lights with a band called Full Force at the time. It was Troy Special, Adrian Clark, those people. And I totally enjoyed that because, it was a different scene, different people, lights, camera, action. I felt like, I'm actually going somewhere. And from there, I spent like 2 years, and from there, I went to a band called Coalition, Rupert Clark and Adrian Clark. And then from there, 2 years later, I think the band had shut down, stopped doing work and stuff like that. So at that time, I started doing mass communication at VCC and learning broadcasting and that kind of stuff. And right after that, I decided to open a little store in Independence Square. All that time, I had not been going back to church. And there was an opening for Square One because Alison Hines was pregnant and she was soon going to get her baby. And they were looking for some person to fill in for her. I wasn't really interested at the time, and nobody was coming in for this part. So Anderson Armstrong, he called me and he asked me if I heard about it and stuff like that, and not getting anybody, and he recommended me and if I could come for rehearsal. And I went for the rehearsal, and when I went for the rehearsal, they took me. So then I was singing with Square One, and with Alison while she was in her last trimester. We traveled to France, we traveled all over. And then after that, I went back in my little shop, and I was like, okay, so what's next? I remember sitting there in my little shop in Independence Square. Nothing was happening, nobody walked through the door, and I was like, okay, so what's next? And I remember starting to pray, and I remember telling God, I want to get back to church. It wasn't a situation where I was sick or dying or near death or anything like that. I was just in a quiet place where God was able to let his spirit come upon me. And so I said, God, you know what? I need to get back to church. I did everything. I wanted to go there and sing. I did it. Pick up some nasty habits along the way, but I don't have them now, praise God. And I feel I needed to get back to church. And I was praying. And I reckon this to giving birth because I remember praying for 9 months straight.
Wow.
9 months straight. I remember and I recollect back at the time, it was 9 months. And one of my good friends came to me and invited me to church. And I said, okay, I'll come. I never went. Every week he would come. And then what I started to do is I said, you know what? I'm going to give you a tithe to carry to the church. So every Saturday I would give him $100 and tell him to take it to the church. I didn't go to the church yet. And every Saturday he would come. And then after about a month, he came back to me one Saturday and he said, Keann, Apostle wants to know who is this person that keeps sending this money, but they're not coming to the church. So I said to him, okay, I promise you I'm going to come next Sunday. And the following Sunday, I went to church, Rima Apostolic, which was renting a space in Girls Industrial Union in Belleville. And when I got there, I saw this little room with some old Bracknell chairs, and I was like, what kind of church is this? You know. But the fire and power of God was so strong in that place that I'm still there today. Wow. And they have groomed me and taught me so much about who I am as a woman, you know, as a female, a servant of the Most High God, and so the rest is history.
Wow. All right, do you think that when you walked away and you said, I'm just a bit tired of church, do you think this was the voice of the enemy? Because the voice of the enemy leading you, maybe to, because I'm looking at you, and you are a son, so I see more than that. I see more than that. So probably later down in the interview, if the Lord permits me, I will say it. How would you advise young people that are as gifted as you? Remember the first question that I just asked, whether the enemy leads you to this. How would you advise them to stay in the path of God?
Well, I would advise them to try not to give into that, the spirit of the enemy trying to channel them in the wrong area. Because luckily for me, what happened for me might not happen for them. It may cost them their life. But I'm grateful to God that even though He allowed me to go where I wanted to go at the time, He kept me and He pulled me back in. Now, my end of my story might not be the end of the other person's story. So I would not tell them to go in that direction. I would tell them to leave it out, because whatever God has for you is way better than whatever you think you have for yourself, or you think that is best for yourself, because we don't know what's good for ourselves. God knows what is best for us. And sometimes He may allow us to do something, but it may be for a time or for a season, and He may bring you back in, or you may not be able to be so lucky to come back in.
When the Lord made that decision, because I don't think that you made that decision, when the Lord made that decision for you to say, I don't need you back, I don't need you in the world anymore. What type of ideas you had in your mind when this time came around and you had to make that decision to go back into God's realm?
Well, it's funny because when I was praying, I was still living my life. I was still living my life and doing my own thing. And at the time when I got the invitation for the church, I was seeing my son's father at the time, and I decided to go to church anyway, right? And it's so funny. I went to church, and the second month that I was going to church, I became pregnant. Yes. And that month, I had decided to take church serious, because I was just going, yeah, the power of God move and everything, and I like the atmosphere and I like the worship. I was still going, you know, I still have my boyfriend. And the second month that I was going to church, I decided to take the Bible classes and everything. And then, boom, I was pregnant. So I remember calling my apostle and telling my apostle, like the second month in my pregnancy, I was calling my apostle, to my apostle, Apostle, I have to speak to you, and something very urgent, and I need you to speak to me. So he told me he would come to the store, and I keep pushing it off and putting it off. So one day he called me and he said, I thought you wanted to talk to me. This is the third month. I wasn't showing or anything. The only person who knew I was pregnant was my mom and my son's dad. And I told him, well, come to the store. And he came to the store. When he came to the store, we talked about everything except what I wanted to talk about. So he allowed me to talk about what I wanted to talk about. And when I was finished, he said, so what it is that you really called me to tell me? And I said, Apostle, I don't know how to tell you this, and it's been burning on my heart, and I still didn't tell you yet. He stopped me and said, you're pregnant. And if we could have dropped if I could have fallen through the floor, I would have fallen through the floor. And he said to me, I said to him, how you know I'm pregnant? And he said to me, there's nothing going on with his sons and daughters that God will not reveal to him once he goes to birth. And I said to him, well, since you revealed it to me instead of me revealing it to him, I said to him, well, Apostle, I just took church serious, and I started Bible classes and stuff like that. And what people are going to say when they see me coming there, I'm wet and pregnant, and I was ranting and raving. And he allowed me to rant and rave. And when it was finished, these are the words that I believe why I'm still here today. He said to me, I'm going to encourage you to still come to church. And if anybody has a problem with you coming to church, doing Bible study, and being pregnant and wedding, they're going to go through me. And that hit me for 20 million, not even for 6. And I was like, what is this? This is unheard of. And so I continued my journey. And when I was about 5 months pregnant, he called me up and he said to me, the Lord told me to tell you, you have to start leading worship in this church.
When you were pregnant?
When I was pregnant, 5 months pregnant, and I'm wedding. And I was so shocked. And
it's not biblical.
It's not. Well, I don't know if it is.
No,
but I know what he told me.
But what I would do, because as you know, I'm a very firm woman of God, I would encourage you to keep your baby. But you will sit down for a little bit. I would still encourage you to, because when you do things like that, when you do things, while you were speaking, in my soul, this did not sit right. The right thing to do was to tell you, keep your baby, love your baby, encourage you to be the best mother, be there. But to lead worship, it's not biblical.
Okay.
Why I'm telling this? Because I can go to the Word of God to tell you. Because if He does it for you, it means every other person who are pregnant. I knew you had a beautiful story. I knew you had a beautiful story, and that's why I told Reverend Valencia to go after you. Because you are a woman that will change the world. You will change this country. You will change the world. And when we cannot encourage people. We cannot encourage people to be wrong and right in these things. We have to encourage them, to love them, to tell them. Because if a person comes to tell me, we have a young lady here, I encourage her to come back to church. I encourage her to come back to church because we are human beings and we're going to fall along the way. Understand? But unless she gets herself right, she will not partake in the Lord's service.
Okay.
I'm telling you the right thing.
Okay.
Maybe this is how He sees things, but we have to be very careful how we do things to lead other people astray.
Right.
I don't know how this interview is going.
Let the Lord do what He wants.
But when I first asked about you, I thought that you had something powerful in you. I see a woman that is going to be leading her own workshop, having her own thing where you help uplift other singers. That's what I see. And it's going to be huge. So we have to set examples. Now, let me cement that before we go. Do you know, I was pregnant at 19. I have a daughter that's an educator. And in the midst of me being pregnant at 19, I'm not being interviewed today, but I wanted to share this with you. I went through a bit of homelessness right here. Where I walked the streets, I wanted to sin. And God told me that I had sinned against Him. People see these clips and glance and this woman, but they don't understand. I had to ask for forgiveness for the things that I did. And I had to, and I think that's why my life turned out that way. So, what I want to ask you, Keann, because you're an important woman, you are a very, very important. You don't even know who you are. You're a very, very important woman of God. When He told you that, how did you feel? How did you feel? You felt in your heart because you're not only an important woman, you are an educated woman. You're smart. The Spirit of God is in you. When He said that to you, how you felt? Because look at the whole story. Tell me how.
Well, when I went home after the service, I went home and I started praying. I said, God, what kind of man are you? Because I would have known or heard stories about people that get put on the back bench or whatever. That's fine. But what He said to me, God has shown me where you have to go. And I don't know if it is because of that He felt that I needed to be held onto. But He told me, and I decided that I would do it. And so I started going to rehearsals and I started conducting the worship services at the church. But what was so phenomenal for me is I found that the whole church nurses had to tell the people, oh, y'all can't go in there. They really rallied behind me, and I felt a love, a real unconditional love.
That's the right thing to do. That's that when we have unwed. But when I study the Word of God, we still have to do things the right way.
What about, all right, so that may have been a sin that people saw on me. But what about people who may be sinning that we don't see, but they're still conducting?
The Spirit of God that lives in the apostle will see whatever needs to be seen. And there are times that God will allow things to rally you
For a time.
and then He exposes it big time.
Yes.
Big time. So, I'm trying to, we want to finish the interview, but I'm trying to, because of who you are, I want to show you that what He did was not biblical. It was not biblical. It's not in the Bible. We are not. Jesus said to the woman by the well, Jesus said to the woman, who are your accusers? Who are your accusers? But then He said to her, go and sin no more. So Jesus was saying to them, are you all accusing her? I don't think anybody should accuse you. I think people should not believe you. But for that, it was not right. Why it was not right? Because you are telling every other young man, woman, that because if he did it for you, he will have to do it for everyone. And it's not going to be a good picture for God. It's not going to be a good picture for those that are. So I know that the Lord is going to talk to you. I know after, because I preach around the world. And when I finish minister to people, because God resonates in their spirit, this is what. Now, apart from all of that, Keann, you are a special, I can see it. You're a special woman of God. If a young woman got pregnant the same way, I believe that we need to treat them the right way. But would you do the same for her to tell her? Would you do the same?
Well, if the Spirit of the Lord bid me, but I can only say what He said. But I will not just tell anybody to do it. It will have to be God led. It will have to be Spirit led. Anything that I tell any person, it will have to be not my own thinking, but led of the Spirit of the Lord.
Your music on the whole is powerful. I was listening to one of your songs just recently. How are you inspired to write music?
um, the Lord, the Lord gives me songs, and I put a full stop there because I'm not a person who would get up and say, "Let me write a song today." God always gives me songs in the early morning, or if I'm on a plane, or if I'm in a quiet place. I have never, when I used to do secular music, I would write songs. But since I've given my life back to the Lord, this is 7 years now, I God will always give me songs in the stillness of the atmosphere.
So how do you get up in the night and you write those songs?
Well, sometimes if I'm sleeping, I'll be dreaming. I'll be dreaming and I'll be singing a melody and the Spirit will wake me up. I will get up and get my recorder and record. Then there are other times, as soon like the song "I Am Amazed." "I Am Amazed" is from the throne room of heaven. I woke up one morning and all I did was open my eyes. And all I heard is, "I am amazed by your glory. I am amazed." I started to look around. I'm on my bed, I ain't get up yet. I started to look around and then I started hearing again, "I am amazed by your strength." I jumped right out of the bed and I got my recorder and I heard the melody while it was in my head. And I said, "This is a song, this is a song." And in 15 minutes, the complete song was finished.
Wow.
And after that, I started, I'll never forget this morning. I was at home alone, my son was with his dad, and I got up and I started to praise and worship and worship and worship. And then for like after 5 minutes, then another song came. And just like that, another song was recorded. So I find that the way how God works with me and songs is I don't have to work hard to strain my brain as to what to write. He just gives me songs just like that.
Do you believe that God is using it in that way because He wants others to say, "Oh boy, I want what Keann Walters have on her." Do you think that's?
Well, I don't know if that's the reason why, but I do know for sure that He has chosen me in this season, definitely, and I know that He has anointed me in this season to reach out to people, especially women, as you mentioned so correctly. I find that a lot of people come to me. I'm not a pastor or anything, but I find that people can relate to me. People can relate to me being in the secular world and what I went through. And 7 years has come and gone, and I'm still there. I'm still fighting, reaching for perfection in Christ. And people come to me, they tell me all kinds of personal stuff, and they ask me advice and how I think that they should go about doing certain things. And I believe that He has anointed me in that way that I can reach out. And not only when I speak to people, but when I minister and I go on stages, people call me, they find me in town and they say to me, "Keann, you don't even know how, you brought me through a season or a death. The song "I Am Amazed." I've been to the airport, just a short story, and I went to check in and I went to Leah and a lady took up my passport and she opened my passport and she said, "You're Keann Walters?" I was like, "Yes." And automatically the lady started to cry and cry and cry. And I was like, "What did they do?" And she said, "1 minute, 1 minute." And she got up from the counter, people in the line, and she took me one side and she said to me, "You don't know how your song, 'I Am Amazed,' has touched me and brought me through." the death of my father. And, it was really amazing to see how God could use me in this manner. Way back in the day, the devil was using me to get people to drink rum and men to jump on women and women to split out and, do all kinds of evil. And I give God so much praise that He could use me for something so positive in this time and in this season.
Wow. That's really powerful. Really powerful. Was there ever a time while you were like touring, that you heard the voice of God came to you and said, "That's it."
No.
Tell me what was happening with you there.
I guess what happened is that God knew that season was going to end, and He waited because He knew that season was going to end.
Yeah.
Because it came a time where the secular bands were not getting work that regular. Yeah, the promoters overseas and stuff, they were hiring just the frontline singers and using tracks because, they weren't able to pay for 20 men to come to New York and to put all of them in hotel and still make a profit at their event. And so things began to dwindle down. And it's when things began to dwindle down that I was in my store in that quiet place that I began to talk with God. And I guess it's because of that foundation and the word of God says, train up a child in the way it should go when it grows old. And I know it's because of that foundation that I was able to still talk to God and tell God, well, this is me now. It's all quiet now. I'm just here in my store and I think I need to get back to church. And when I said that, I felt like it was a confirmation. He didn't say anything to me, but I felt like, yeah, this is what you needed to do. And so, even though He did not say anything to me, He sent my friend to encourage me to come to his church. I never told anybody I wanted to go to church. And I said to God, I don't want to go. This is what I missed out. I said to God, I don't want to go to any church around the corner. I want to go to a church that is Bible-led. I want to go to church that I will grow. I said that. And He never responded to me. But through a friend who came to me, who I know is a Christian, just came to me and invited me to the church.
God does things in various ways.
Yes.
We cannot just say that this is not God. This is not God. So probably He led the friend to bring.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna talk about those pretty eyes. Let's talk about those pretty eyes.
Well, my eyes, I got my eyes from my grandfather, my mother's dad. Nobody outside the family has my eyes. And
Because there is white in your family.
I've been told that.
There is white in your family.
I've been told that. But my grandfather, he was about my complexion, but he had these hazel brown eyes. And nobody else in the family got them. But me, so much so, my mom told me a story that my father was questioning if I belonged to him. Because when they saw this baby with this hazel brown eyes, and what nobody.
So your father does not have those eyes?
No, my dad, he doesn't have those.
So your mother does not have
My mother. My mother has brown eyes, but they're dark.
Mm-hmm.
They're dark. So my grandfather had hazel brown eyes, and I got this strike back, as the old people would call it.
Okay.
And I got it.
You're not married?
No, I'm not married.
Are you planning to be married?
Of course, I would love to be married. I would love to be married, but I'm waiting on the Lord because, from small, I've always been a person who would watch and analyze things. And I analyze a lot of things. I analyze when I was young, how, adults would have relationships and break up. And I never wanted that. And I've always said that any person I got pregnant for, it would have to be my husband. And I always said any person I got pregnant for, I would never break up with. But I also recognize that anything that I say that I would do, God is always allowed it to happen in a different way. So I am waiting. I'm waiting to see who God would allow to find me.
Is there anybody like you?
No. No, there's not anybody like me now. But it has not, as much as I want to get married, I have not allowed it to be my focus. Okay. My heart's desire is to be the best servant and minister that God can mold me into be. That's my heart. That's my heart.
Okay, what about the books that have come out from you?
inspired in the spirit.
What about the books?
I started a book.
Okay. I see at least 50 books from your stomach. I just saw that.
I started a book.
Don't cry. Don't cry.
I started a book. It's called, one day I was listening to a sermon that was sent to me, powerful. I can't even remember, but I still have it on my phone. Who the gentleman is, he's a very powerful minister in the world. And he was giving a sermon about, he was motivating the people and telling them to speak over their life and say, I am beautiful, I am, all of those wonderful words. And when I heard that sermon, I began to write down different I am sticky notes and put it on my glass in my bedroom. And I started to say those things every day. And every day I would write down I am in a book. It touched me so much. After a couple of days, I went through the book and I started to count how much I ams I got to. And there were 21. So it's 21 days that I wrote the I am. And I was like, wow, it's normally take 21 to 90 days for a shift, for some person to shift from one dimension into another. And I heard the Spirit Lord say, now write a book about it.
Wow.
I started to rant and rave. I said, God, I can't write the book. Let me sing. I can sing. I don't know nothing about writing a book. And I ranted and I raved in the bedroom for myself. And when I was done, I heard the Spirit of the Lord say, I say, write the book.
So how far are you in the book?
The book is 90 days devotion called, it's going to be called, The Power of I Am. I'm probably about 2 months in the book. And because I know nothing about books, I've reached out to Pastor Linda Jones and a few people who are willing to assist me. So it's taken a little process because I'm learning as I'm writing how to go about the stages of presenting this book.
Linda Jones.
Pastor Linda Jones, she's a very popular pastor in Barbados. She has written many, many books. She was not born in Barbados, but she has been living in Barbados for many, many years. And she's well known.
Okay.
But she has written a whole host of books here in Barbados as well. And so I had to reach out to her one day at the seminar and told her about my book and stuff like that. I made her mesh from there. But I know that God, as you said correctly, I know that God is going to allow me to do things that I didn't even think about. And so when I ran to rave about the book, and when I finally became settled, I was like, okay, God, if you're telling me to do it, it means that there's something in me that I didn't know was there, and you want me to pull it up. So I've started the book. I don't know when I'm going to finish it because the book takes time. And because I have my business, I have my son, I have ministry at church, there's a lot going on, and all the competition that I'm really pushing at. So it really takes time to get a way to do a book properly, even though it's a devotional. Because I want it to be a very in-depth devotional. And as I write the I ams, I'm searching for scriptures to go back with the I am. So it's not just an I am, but to give scripture and then to give, paragraphs, dissecting that I am. So it's taking time to put it together properly.
Okay. I'm looking forward to see that book.
Amen.
All right. We have Gospel Fest coming up. Mm-hmm. Are you taking part in that?
No.
Okay. So what happened with Gospel Fest?
I'm not sure. I go to Gospel Fest almost every year, but I'm not sure if I really want to go this year. Not for any particular reason, but just that my spirit doesn't feel that I may go to any events. But I'm registering for the workshop. They have a workshop coming up with Alvin Slaughter at the DB Southern Hotel, I think it is. And I'm definitely going to go to the workshop for sure.
Okay. Is there new music coming up from you?
Yes, there's new music. I have loads of music. My problem has been getting the funds to record the music. To record every song at its best.
Album? Send the funds for her. Send all the money for her.
Amen.
Let it be done, Lord God. All right, remember all of you, we are speaking to Minister Keann Waters. Powerful, powerful little one. So just stay tuned. We don't want to keep them out. Stay tuned. All right. Has there been a time in your life why you turn back to God? Where you were, you say, oh my goodness. And again, I'll just stay with
I can tell you that there have been times that the enemy would try to get me to turn, but I kept holding on. I keep saying, I've been there, I've done that. Even though I'm a young woman, there's been so much that I would have seen or done. I'm going to be 39 in July.
She's like close to Carrie. My God, Carrie.
So there have been times where the enemy has tried to use people or things or even music to remove me, because like even 3 or 4 years after I gave my life back to the Lord, and I still have producers calling me to do music for October. Man, I'm like on this church thing, man. I got a rhythm here that way you hear it. Why you gonna write the song? And I was like, no, my spirit has changed. And I know my spirit has changed because of my prayers, because in my prayers, I keep telling God, I want to do this for you. I want to do that for you. I want this gone. I want that gone. And so I believe because my desires line up with His will for my life, He would assist me in chiseling away these things, day by day, month by month, year by year. And so I believe now more than anything else that He has begun to open doors where I can do what my heart's desire is, which is to be a servant of Him.
If I invite you to come and do some music right here with us, would you come?
Yeah,
I would come. Would you come?
yes, I would.
All right, so we have to schedule you to come and do some worship with us. All right?
No problem.
All right. We would like you to encourage those that are on this line about drawing near to God. Can you do that?
Sure. There are many of you out there who may know of God. There are many of you who may not know of God. But I believe that most of you know of God. I can tell you that you would have tried so many things on your own accord. You would have tried so many things on your own accord to turn things around. A year has gone, 2 years has gone, 3 years has gone, nothing has turned around. You keep telling yourself, I can come when I change this, or I can come when I change that. Can I tell you that you would not be able to change anything on your own? The Word of God says to come to Him as you are. Whatever situation, I don't care if you have a boyfriend, I don't care if you have somebody's husband, I don't care what situation you find yourself in, and that spirit has a hold on you, and you will not be able to turn it around on your own. But come to God however you are, if it is that you really want change. Find a good Bible-believing church, one with power, one with authority, with a leader that is anointed to see and to assist you, to help you to get to where God has predestined for you to go. And day by day, step by step, keep pressing on. You're going to have to get rid of some people around you. This is not because you think that you are better than them and they're going to tell you that. But it's because your focus has shifted. It's because your desires has changed. And if your desires and your focus have shifted, it means that the people around you who are not going where you are going will have to fall off. Not that you will stop speaking to them or that you can't talk to them, but because you're going to different places, how can two walk unless they agree? And if you cannot agree, and they're still calling you to come to go to this fair, or come and go down and drink some rum with this buddy, or come, there's so many different things that we can do that are not of God. Then you need to start associating yourself with people who will encourage you in the path that you have now decided to take. People who you can trust. People who will not walk and talk about you when you fall, because in this walk, you will fall as a growing Christian, as a growing disciple of God. You will fall. And also, I must let you know that if and when you decide to give your life to God, the enemy is going to come after you full-fledged. But know that it is a test. All it is a test for you to see how strong you are. It's not a test for God, it's a test to show you what level you are at. And so you must be able to get over the different hurdles and tests that will continue to come in your walk as a Christian and as a disciple of God. It's not going to be easy. People are going to tell you you're the last 2 months or 1 week. They're going to tell you all kinds of things. But once you have a made-up mind that no matter come what may, you have decided to press on to the mark of the high calling, I'm telling you, God knows your heart and He's going to help you to get there. All you have to do is do not give up. Trials are going to come. Your family can come against you. Your children might go weary. You might lose your job. You may come to God, have a lot of money. 6 months down the line, you may not have the money. And then you may want to give up. But it is only a test for you to see if you really trust God. And once you hold on, I guarantee you, once you follow what I just said, everything will be replenished back to you in God's perfect timing.
Wow. I see people agree with you. Come on, preacher.
Already.
I just saw many of you agreeing with her on the platform. That's powerful. Well, Minister Keann Walters will be gracing the front of our magazine. The magazine goes to 130 something countries. I'm looking forward to see those pretty broad eyes that graces the front of Breathe magazine. It was such a pleasure meeting you. And you are truly a warm individual.
Thank you.
And there is no guile. When I meet people, I can feel the spirit. You are not a hypocrite. You're real. I interview people from all around the world, and I can feel hypocrisy. That's my game. That's why I don't mix with much people. Reality lies in you.
Amen.
And you will go very far.
Amen.
Keep that way. You are this type of person, though you are very quiet in spirit, but if you have something to say, you will go up to your mouth.
Definitely.
That's who you are. And after you finish, you're cool the same way. So majority of the time, people get vexed with you while you are being over. So I am here, and the Lord is showing me you. And because of who you are, and because of the type of nature you have, you will reach the top. What I saw for you is that you said you have one store.
Yes.
But I see many stores.
Yes. Amen.
I also saw a brand coming from you.
Yes. Amen.
I saw a brand. I wanted to prophesy to you before you leave. I saw a brand, and it's a brand of clothing and shoes that will be coming out of you.
Amen.
So what I want you to do is to stay the way you are. I also saw a store with food. Why you smile? It's not ready food, but it's like salads and bites. That's what I saw. The Lord is going to give you the money that you need. I see a family member giving you close to $100,000. The money that you need is going to come. God says to stay on the threshing floor, and before next year, you are going to open many stores. The Lord is going to give you what you need. So I just wanted you to know, you are talking, but God is showing me your spirit. So I'm gonna close. I don't want to say much. I would rather to speak to you offline to tell you whatever He tells me.
Amen.
Because you are more of a private person also.
Very much so.
So I would rather to call you and speak to you offline to tell you the rest of the things that He tells you. But go forward. Allow God to empower you as He has to empower you. Write that book because it's going to be a bestseller. Finish that, okay, what you have. Finish that one and get it together. And I promise you that you will see some stuff happen to you before this year ends that you have not seen before. Amen. So guys, I truly enjoyed having Minister Keann Walters with us today. This was an interesting interview. It was powerful, not only this, but I like her spirit. I love her spirit. Never seen her before. That's the first time. Like the spirit, and I think this young woman is about to hit the airways. What I mean by hitting the airways, you're about to see more of her.
I just wanna, it's all about God for me, and I just wanna encourage you guys to keep on holding on, no matter what comes, no matter what the enemy shows you in front of your face. Don't look at what's happening in front of you, don't look at the natural, but go into the Spirit of God. Also want to take this opportunity to invite you guys to vote for me as I continue in the competition to try to get to Nigeria to be mentored and trained by Sana.
Tell us more about the competition.
Sure. Well, the competition, I started the competition last month. What Sana has done is she started to reach back and to help upcoming ministers and train them and give them tools. And so she started a vocal training online project on God's Gem, GOSGEM, which is her network. And I did an online course there. At the end of the online course, she invited people who completed the online course to do a 1-minute video of our favorite song of her, which I did. And out of the 60 entrants, I'm the only person from the Caribbean who entered into the competition. We had like 2 Americans, all the others were Nigerians and Africans. And so I entered the competition and I made it to the top 10, and now I'm vying to get to the top 5. I've already declared myself a winner from the time I entered.
Come on,
So,
Barbados.
And so this has nothing to do with boasting. It is just that, no, it's not boasting. It's just that I know, I feel in my spirit that I'm gonna win it.
Both.
Yeah. So, as much as you know, you may have faith for the worst is dead. And so I've been promoting the competition because in order to reach the top 5 and to reach the top 10, it has to do with voting views. So I'm encouraging you guys, if you have a pen, just write this down. GOSGEM, that's GOSGEM, not God's, not GODS. GOSGEM, concepts. Just type that in YouTube. GOSGEM, concepts on YouTube. And my picture is probably like the 3rd picture. You'll see E17, which is entrance 17, Keann Walters. You click on that and you click the thumbs up, scroll down, leave a comment, and share that link with others on Facebook so that I can get more votes.
All right, from now on, those of you that are watching me from Jamaica, the Cayman Islands, those of you, there are over 200,000 or more individuals who follows me. Go on right now, do this for me. You've done it before. Do this for me and go and vote for Minister Keann Walters. by tonight you're gonna see some stuff.
Amen, amen. Thank you so much.
So we are about to close our interview. I have another interview coming up from the United States. I'll be interviewing Mrs. Powell from the United States about a book that she just wrote. I am Apostle Marguerite Breedy-Haynes for Brief Magazine. I'm so happy to have you here.
Glad to be here.
God bless you. Bye, guys.
Okay, who's this lady laughing there? Janice, this